were both grad assistants at the same time.
Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, we were theater kids together. And
Oh,
so,
yes.
yeah. We were both techies. I think she did a little bit of acting. We're mostly just techies. And so, yeah, I loved being a tech. So, it was so much fun.
I did that in high school too.
Did you?
I was in props though.
Yeah, I was props.
For real?
Yeah, I was props, costumes, set pieces.
Yeah.
I never did sound or lights, but I had all my friends did, obviously. My sister and I found a very happy place in that world, and I loved it.
Oh man, well here, let's
Yeah, I'm
keep
sorry.
going.
We don't want to
We're
get
wasting conversation.
we don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
This is great conversation.
Yeah,
Funny.
actually, yeah. I'm gonna get rid
So
of
funny.
this mic stand and put it over here.
Yeah, no, actually, because I actually wanted to start there with high school.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but here,
Yeah,
finish
Let me
up
get
what
this.
you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't wanna
My
rush
phone's going
you.
down disturbed.
Okay. Oh, that's smart. I don't have mine.
Yeah, I should chuck my phone. I hate this thing. It sucks.
Just
I'm
throw the
so
phone
I'm
back.
so used to always like looking at it and needing to create space and boundaries with her.
Oh yeah.
Because if not,
Have you named your phone? You given her personified a little bit with the gender, but.
she is my best friend. She knows everything. She knows everything about me. Everything
Okay.
about me.
Yeah, that's fair. But no, this is Let's Be Friends. I'm the host, Aaron Hennyhill. I have our lovely co-host, Rue Nakasa.
Hello, hey.
The silly goose herself. She's
Aw.
doing all these amazing things in comedy. Wait, aren't you doing a spot with Chris Kattan? Is that real?
I am on September 14th in
Ooh.
Sanford. Come through, the tickets are there.
A little plug. I love it.
We gotta plug it in. That's the purpose of this.
I
Actually.
love it. That's
But
fabulous.
our guest of honor, and I'll say a hero of mine actually. Like,
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
such a
that's so
huge
extra.
fan. Anna Escamani.
Thank you.
I was thinking in my head the whole time. Don't say Anna. It's Anna, right?
It is Anna. You're so sweet to like be intentional. I can't tell you there are people who are like, oh yeah, I know Anna, and I'm like, do you guys? You just said my name wrong,
Anna.
and so yeah, it's like it's something I've lived with my entire life, and honestly, I get used to it. You know what I mean? Like I don't fret too much about it because I'm like, hey, as long as you know we're here to serve you, like call me whatever. But it's very meaningful and folks are intentional, so I appreciate you for doing that.
That's the
Thank
goal.
you.
No, so I've done some my research on you a little bit here. University high school?
Go Cougars!
Go Cougars. And I have you graduated 2010.
2008.
2008, sorry.
Thanks for giving me a little bit of youth, though.
Yeah.
Getting so old by the day.
I graduated 2010 from Dr. Phillips High School. So we played
Okay,
gymnastics and
District
sports.
5
Yes,
theater troupe. That was where we did our competitions. Was that Dr.
yes,
Phillips?
yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh.
What high school did you go to?
I did not grow up here.
Oh, that's okay.
I moved to Orlando in 2019, so
Cool.
I went to school in a Chicago suburb, Willowbrook High School. If anyone's listening.
Nice. Shout it out. Shout it out.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I just remember 2008 being a big year for me politically, right?
Oh, yeah.
My parents were doing a lot of work with Alan Grayson. Back
Oh my
then.
gosh!
Yeah.
Of
So,
course
yeah.
I remember. You know he's still here, by the way.
Is he?
He's
oh.
running for state senate right
Really?
now.
What?
It's over like the Osceola, Orange County
Oh,
area,
yeah,
so
yeah,
more
yeah,
like
yeah.
southeast. But you know, it's a very crowded Democratic primary, and
Yeah.
he has inserted himself into it. Yeah, Alan Grayson's always there. He's
Yes.
always there.
Yeah, the ticket, I got the sample ballot as just dem. I'm like, ooh.
Oh yeah, a lot of competition. A lot of competition. It's a good problem to have for sure.
Yeah, definitely a good problem to have. And I remember 2008. You know, was that the first year you were able to vote?
It was.
And so how was
Game
that?
changer.
Yeah, how was that for you as far as like casting your
Yeah.
vote and-
You know what? It was actually, to your point, it was very impactful. So I was 18 years old in 2008. I actually was registered no party affiliation. My parents are both immigrants who came to this country from Iran. And I watched my mom become a US citizen and was very inspired by that. She would take us to go vote. And though my parents were registered Democrats, I really wanted to decide for myself what my politics were, right? And so when I registered to vote as a pre-registration as like a 16-year-old, I did no party affiliation. But I knew once I saw President Obama, kind of, hit the ground and hear his message and his story, I was so inspired. And to cast a history-making ballot was incredible. And I think it really set a tone for me too as a young woman of color that we can make a difference, that when we work together and have this little thing called hope, that we actually can aspire to our wildest dreams. And of course, no administration is perfect. There's so much, and we look back in the Obama administration that we wanted to see it didn't get done. But no one can deny the fact that he really left a mark on that generation and on our generation, right? As young
Right.
people. And so I feel really lucky in that way because I look at Gen Z today, I always really empathize. I'm like, I'm really sorry the first person you ever voted for is Joe Biden. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not as inspirational. Like, it's not. And granted, there's so many reasons to vote. You shouldn't just vote on the candidate, right? But I'm really grateful that the ticket for the Democratic side has shifted dramatically because now there's this electrifying energy that's really, really inspirational and reminds me of '08. It really does. It reminds me of just not just the weight of the moment, because I think we all understood how important a win in 2008 was, but also this collective efficacy, right? Like this notion, like I can make a difference, which is not always a constant theme in American politics. And so I'm really happy to see that feeling kind of grow among our peers.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was actually at a watch party for Allen Grayson, actually.
Oh my God! Whoa, you got some deep history.
Yeah.
I mean, what if we were both there together? Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, no, and so actually we have another connection point I wanted to bring up. Ida, is that your sister?
My twin sister.
I have a twin brother.
What?
Eric.
I don't.
Where is he?
Twin.
Where is he?
Twin is he works in schools, so he's
That's so cool.
I think they're getting ready for teacher
Back to
day.
school. Yeah,
so
that's
he's-
amazing. You guys both grew up in Orlando.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I loved having a twin, especially in high school.
Who's older?
He is
Aw.
7 minutes.
Oh my God, I'm
Twins.
older by 6 minutes.
Whoa!
You
You guys
know.
are so like cosmically
I
connected.
know, it's wild. What is your birthday? And what was the constellation at the time? No.
Yeah. So twins know the minutes too. Like
Always.
If they recorded seconds, we would have that memorized as well.
It's so funny. It's so true. When we would, when we were younger, we would have arguments and fights and stuff, right? And it was so mean. Like, I would be like, I'm 6 minutes older than you. And she's like, you're going to get wrinkles 6 minutes first. And I mean, we use that against each other, too.
You pull rank as older siblings?
I totally
You
would,
have
and I
to.
still do. No, I'm just kidding. But we actually live together, too.
Oh, that's
We're very,
awesome.
very close. Yeah, and she also works in advocacy. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. No, my brother, we would, I don't know where I was going with that. But, actually, the only time that we've ever actually, like, pulled rank or had to was for, my grandmother's funeral. All the firstborn sons got to carry the casket.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, I guess.
Like,
I
we're
guess you can do
twins.
it, I think they can do it.
That's a major one.
Y'all should have had it together.
Well, I was like, well, I'm the oldest kid. My sister Michelle, she's like our
Right.
de facto parent. Why wouldn't she? My
Aww.
mom's a great parent. So is my dad, but my sister, she also helped
She
raise
was,
us.
yeah.
Why not her? But I was like, you know what? You can have that, man. You can
Aww.
be the firstborn son. So luckily, we're not like inheriting any kind of title or Game of Thrones.
Right.
I can see why they had all that problems. I was like thinking back, like to watching, House of Dragon. Like I see why.
Oh yeah, the tension among siblings. Yeah.
Are we Game of Thrones people?
I am, but to be really candid with y'all, I don't have time to watch a lot of TV these days. And
Yeah.
I'm bigger into Star Wars lore than I am into anything else. I'm a big Star Wars fan. So Star Wars is kind of like I watch Andor. I mean, I haven't caught up with all the universe, Disney Plus options, but
Right.
I definitely love Star Wars.
I'm the last one I watched was I think Andor. Or maybe which one was Ashoka or was it Andor?
So Andor came first.
Okay, so
yeah.
I've seen Ashoka. I think that's the last one I watched. I think only one behind me.
I think you're doing pretty better than me, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just hard when you have like so much. I mean, yeah, I was up to like 4:30 a.m. just doing emails,
Yeah.
And my guilty pleasure when I do late night work is I have Sex and the City on.
Yes, let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it is, to quote Sex and the City, it is my thing, let it go. Like, I know a lot of it's problematic when you look back at that era in television, but I know, my sister and I both, we know every episode, almost every line. It's one of those things that I can just put on the background.
Yeah.
I don't really have to pay attention because I know what's happening, but it still keeps me awake because it still has my attention a little bit. So it's like,
Yeah, it's
definitely a guilty pleasure, but it also helps me be very productive.
No, it's like putting on. That's how The Office is, or
Right.
Yeah.
Putting on a familiar. It's like almost a song, Or,
You got it.
Or a sweatshirt, like
It's
it
like a
kinda
comfort
transports-
show.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, for me, it's like New Girl and Sex in the City
There
too.
we go.
I got my boyfriend into it. I was like,
Did you?
Listen, we're gonna watch it. He's like, these maladjusted women. I need to know.
That's so funny. Well, I'm still perplexed of like, how do these women, you barely see any of them work, yet they have like all this beautiful money and clothes, and I'm like, how do you what? They're so fit, and you only see them work out like once every season, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is not realistic, but I still love it. I still love it.
So are we watching the isn't there a new season?
Oh,
coming?
there is.
There is. I haven't watched it. Have
It's
you?
messy.
Is it? Oh.
But it's one of those trains where you just like really want to watch it wreck.
Yeah.
It's like it has good fashion. You know what I mean? It's a nice looking train, but and you really want to see these characters thrive. But it's called And Just Like That, and it's super messy. But I just can't stop. I'm following all the Instagram accounts. Like I'm saying, my sister. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely one of those. At this point, I think it's become a cult classic for a lot of us,
Oh, for
and so
sure.
we're addicted, even if we know the quality has like substantially declined.
I think there's something to like, especially I feel like all of us here, we're always grinding, doing so much. There's something to just watching trash television and just allowing your brain to turn off
Absolutely.
and allow other people to mess up their lives.
Absolutely.
Especially-
I agree.
Yeah, especially there's not the pressure of like paying attention to every minute of it, Like
Yeah.
the new shows. There's so many good shows like The Bear. I've been stuck on trying. I love the show, but like I just can't like focus on it. 'Cause I'm like, I got other stuff to do.
That's why like I avoid starting new shows,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
during COVID, I definitely would have more capacity and like you're shut at home, so you're watching more television. So I watched like Schitt's Creek, The Good Place, like really good television. But now it's like no time. I'm just always working, always hustle. Yeah, I can totally relate to that
Yeah.
point.
Oh man, yeah. Speaking of the always working part, what's like the day in the life of a housewife?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So here is a very important dynamic that most folks don't realize. Being in the state legislature in Florida is actually known to be a part-time job. So our salary is a part-time salary. It's $28,000, which is why most state lawmakers are very wealthy because only rich people can afford to do it. I am the outlier in that, and so much like Tim Walz, I don't have a lot of money, so I do work a separate day job that is in philanthropy and nonprofit management. So I have my, a separate source of income and a boss, just like anyone else. It is a remote job, so I have lots of flexibility, but the reality is that the work requires more hours than what even is a part-time job and even a full-time job. It's definitely overtime. So what does that day-to-day look like, right? So I mean, I'll use today as an example. So I mentioned that I was up till 4:30 a.m. working on constituent services. It hits a point in the night where you're emailing people and you're like, either they think I've been up this whole time or that I'm waking up early. And you know what I mean? It's like, I really wish I was waking up early, but I haven't even slept yet. But you're just like, so constantly managing your inbox, right? Because your inbox is the home of when people need you. So you're getting constituent issues. So this morning, having cases around folks with property insurance, condo issues, issues with small businesses, Medicaid, right? So any type of state agency intersection with an everyday problem, we have the capacity to potentially solve. So we're getting all that traffic in, right, from everywhere across the district and beyond. At the same time, you're getting invited to stuff, speaking engagements, tours, community events. I got invited to a picket line with our CNAs earlier today, and that was very last minute, but we squeezed it in to go protest with some of our union workers advocating for better benefits as healthcare providers with some of our assisted living facilities. So you're also just kind of getting in this traffic of requests, and to that point, I do have a team that I help support and manage, and each one of us wear many hats. So I'm not gonna every project my team member does, I do too, because I do believe in modeling that type of leadership. And so we're all working on constituent cases. It's not something I just pass along. I have my own load of casework too.
Yeah.
And so we're constantly doing, constituent issues, scheduling, meetings. And that's just the day-to-day when you're in the district, right? When you're in Tallahassee, it's a little bit different. When you're in Tallahassee for legislative session, which is only about 90 days of the year, you have even less control of your calendar, because then it's a series of committee meetings, which are not like scheduled by your preference, and actually even your committee meetings are not assigned to you by preference. So you do get to request what committees you wish to serve on, but as a member of the Minority Caucus, we do not typically get our requests. So it's almost like better to choose the opposite, right? And like roll the dice.
Is it really like that way where they're like, I'm gonna give you what you don't like?
Yeah.
Or is it, wow.
Well, I'll tell you, my very first, so when I first got elected in 2018, you know, I worked at Planned Parenthood where I ran for office. I have a lot of nonprofit experience, educational experience, and so I checked off those boxes, right? Like healthcare committees, education committees. Like, you know, I wanted, hypothetically, right, any other field, what you're good at is what you practice, not in the legislature. What you're good at, they want you to be far away from as a member of the Minority Caucus. So I didn't get any of my preferences, and instead I was placed in some really dry, kind of government-y committees, if you will, about local government, about bureaucracy, and about taxes. But I'll tell you, because of that, I have become very good at tax policy.
Yes.
And I'm actually
Yes.
the ranking member now of the Ways and Means Committee.
Yes.
And I've been there for 6 years, and I'm hoping I'll stay my last 2. And so I really actually embrace those challenges and made me a more well-rounded lawmaker. So I'm actually kind of grateful for the fact that I wasn't placed in my preferences because it allowed me to strengthen my skills in other arenas. But to the heart of your question, whether it is our committees, our parking spot, our office, our placement on the House floor, we don't decide any of that. It is decided by Republican leadership. So,
Oh.
as you can imagine, it can become a pretty petty process if
Yeah.
you're not thoughtful. And so I do my best to maintain stability with my colleagues. Even if we disagree on policy, it does not mean that we're going to disagree as humans. And so I do maintain my values, which means I will build bridges when I can, while not being afraid to hold anyone or any corporation accountable when I must. But it's about separating the person as much as you can from the policy, which is not possible with every character.
Yes.
But I try really hard with my peers in the state capitol to operate in that way, and it allows me to build relationships even with very unlikely colleagues. Because there are situations where we'll work on bills together, right? We'll work on projects together, but then we're going to debate aggressively on others. So it is this really kind of awkward dance at times, but it does allow us to navigate in what is an environment not built for our success.
Yeah. Wow. So many ways to go here. So I guess I want to start with combined tax. What was it?
Combined reporting?
We're talking about combined reporting.
Ooh, this is a nerdy interview.
Because-
I am really excited. Wait, pause. You are the first person who's interviewed me who's ever just been like, let's talk about combined reporting. I'm not even kidding.
Really?
No one. No, I will host press conferences on this issue and no reporters will come.
Really?
Yeah, like it's so frustrating.
Yeah. So in my research, I was like reading your op-eds, and I read the one on combined. I was like, I had no idea this was a thing.
Let's talk about it.
I'm obsessed.
No, I want to know.
Girls like, tell me everything.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. So here, I mean, you could probably speak to it when you're and I can. I know it's about the just the way that taxes reported. You could either do it separately or combined.
Yeah.
That's very in the title, so I didn't really say much. But I think Anna.
You're doing great. You're doing great. So a lot of times when we talk about corporate tax policy, we talk about it from the federal perspective, right? Because we have, at the end of the day, there definitely is a nationalization of our politics where we're much more familiar with federal issues than we are as a state. So combined reporting is a state-by-state tax policy. Long story short, you have large multi-state and multinational corporations who essentially hide their revenue in shell companies. So I'll give you an example as a visual. So let's just say that I start a company and it's called Esca Madness, and we make these really popular tumblers, okay? So I made $1 million in Florida. I sold tumblers where I made $1 million in profit in Florida. That's potentially going to be taxable income, right, with the corporate income tax rate in Florida, which is